How was your day? Maybe it was fine, the ordinary kind of fine. You did what was asked. You answered. You closed the laptop. You didn't ask for more. But somewhere under the fine, there was a small restlessness, a wish for something more, and no name for it. There's a story about exactly that. It's called Faust. The man's name is Faust, a man who had read every book and still felt empty, a man who wanted one true thing and didn't know how to find it. That's the story. Lie back, it's okay if you drift. Maybe today felt like it should have meant more. Like you went through the motions and waited for something to land that didn't quite. That feeling is older than you, older than the city outside. There's a comfort in admitting it, wanting more without knowing what. We don't have to fix it tonight. Tonight we just sit with the man who couldn't fix it either, and we follow. Every week one book. The greatest books ever written, read slowly with the lights low, no homework, no quiz, just the story and a quiet place to land for an hour. The book begins not on earth but somewhere above it. There's a cord of light and a voice that fills it. The Lord is speaking to his angels. The world is praised and listened to. Then a different voice cuts in, dry, clever, slightly amused. A figure steps out of the brightness who doesn't belong in it. He bows perfectly. He is making a joke at the Lord's expense. Mephistopheles. That's the name he uses. He says humans amuse him. Pitiful little creatures given reason and using it mostly to be unhappy. He thinks they'd be better off without it. The Lord listens. Patient. Then he names one human in particular, a scholar. A man who has read everything, learned everything, and still seeks. Mephistopheles smiles. He recognizes the type. Here's where it gets interesting. Mephistopheles makes a wager. Give me that man, he says. Let me at him. I'll have him crawling. The Lord considers it. Then he agrees. This is the wager that holds the whole book. We hear it before we meet the man it's about. Above his head, while he reads, two voices have already decided to play with his life. It's a strange way for a book to begin. A bet on a soul, made before the soul knows. But Goethe wanted us to feel the weight from the first page. This is what's at stake. The Lord is calm about it. He says, even at his worst, the man who keeps striving will find his way home. Mephistopheles smiles to himself. We'll see, he says. We'll see. And the bright hall closes. The story drops like a stone, down through the clouds, down through the night, into a stone tower in an old German town, into one room, one man. We'll stay with this one tonight. There's more in Goethe's world, but we'll sit with this story, slowly, all the way through. If you drift somewhere in it, the book will be here tomorrow. Faust sits alone at his desk. It is late. Past late. The candle has burned down twice and he has not noticed. He has been reading the same line for an hour. He has degrees, philosophy, law, medicine, theology. He has taught students. He has read until his eyes ached. And he sits here tonight thinking, none of it. None of it touched anything real. He tries one of the old magic books. He opens it to a sign of the spirit of nature. For a moment something rises, vast, alive, terrifying. He reaches. The vision turns away. He cannot hold it. There's a shelf at the back of the study he hasn't touched in years. On it, a small glass vial. Dark liquid. Poison. He had set it there long ago, a quiet door he never quite closed. He takes the veil down. He pours it into a heavy silver cup. He sits with the cup in both hands. He is not theatrical about it. He is just very, very tired. And then, through the closed window across the cold air of the town, a sound. Bells. Easter bells. Children's voices. Somewhere down a street singing in chorus. He stops. He listens. It is not the words that stop him. It's the memory. Easter mornings as a child, his mother's hand, a loaf of bread, a voice singing somewhere ahead of him in the dark. He sets the cup down. It isn't faith that saves him. He's clear about that. It's the memory of a self who hadn't given up yet, a boy who'd believed something. He cannot kill that boy tonight. Hear that? That's the moment the wager begins to matter, not when Mephistopheles arrives, when Faust chooses against himself to live one more morning. The devil will work with what's left. Easter morning, Faust steps outside the city walls with his assistant Wagner. The road is full of people in spring clothes, children running, old couples on benches. He has not been outside in months. Wagner is happy. He talks. He says how lovely the air is, how nicely the people behave. Faust listens, half smiling. He cannot share it. Two souls, he thinks, live inside me. One wants this. One is already pulling away. As they walk back toward the gate, Faust notices something. A black poodle, trotting along behind them. Wagner doesn't see it as strange. Faust watches its eyes, watches the way it circles. The dog narrows its circles, tighter and tighter, like a knot drawing closed. Wagner laughs, calls to it, ruffles its fur. Faust says nothing. Something in him already knows. They reach the city gate. The dog follows them in. Faust does not stop it. He climbs the stairs to his study, the poodle padding behind. Whatever is about to happen, he has agreed to let it. Back in the study, the candle is lit. The poodle settles by the desk. Faust opens his Bible to the Gospel of John. In the beginning was the Word. He stops, wrestles with the line. The dog stirs, growls. Faust does not look up. He scratches a translation onto a slip of paper. In the beginning was the deed. The poodle's growl deepens, becomes something far older than a dog. Now Faust looks. The dog is not a dog anymore. It is swelling, stretching. The shape is wrong. Smoke rises off the fur. Faust steps back. The candle flares. The shape stands. When the smoke clears, a gentleman is standing in the study. Black doublet, red lining at the cuffs. A small, precise smile. He bows. He says, "At your service." Faust does not move. Picture this conversation. The scholar who has spoken to no one for weeks. The devil who is excellent company. They begin to talk about knowledge, about the limits of it, about what a man might want, given everything. Mephistopheles introduces himself plainly. He is, he says, a small part of the force that always wants the bad and always works the good. He likes the joke. Faust does not. The devil offers, not riches exactly, not power, something stranger. He says, "Let me serve you here, give you anything you want, anything at all, just see what life can be." And in return, Faust says, "What then?" Mephistopheles smiles. "Then in the next world you serve me the same way." Faust laughs, harsh and tired. The next world. He doesn't believe in the next world. That's why he agrees. He doesn't think there's a price he'll have to pay. The next world is a story for old women in churches. This one is the only one. Make it bigger, then make it strange. Mephistopheles names a condition. There is one moment, he says, that ends the bargain. If you ever, looking at anything you have, say, "Stay, this is enough. I want this to last. Then you are mine." Faust hears the trap and does not flinch. He thinks, "I will never say it. I have never wanted anything that lasted. Why would I start now?" "Then we have a deal," says the devil. "It must be in writing," the devil says. "A small thing, a formality." He produces a sheet of parchment, ink, a quill. He waits. Faust looks at the page, looks at the quill, reaches. "Ink," Mephistopheles murmurs, "won't quite do. Something a little more personal." He glances at Faust's wrist. Faust hesitates. Then he draws the quill across his own skin. A bead of red. He signs. The blood is dark. The signature is plain, Faust. 5 letters. The devil pockets the parchment without ceremony. They both look at each other a moment. Nothing has visibly changed. Mephistopheles tucks the page into his coat. Smiles. A real smile this time, not the polished one. "We'll travel," he says. "We'll see things. You won't be sitting in this room much longer." Picture how Faust looks at the room now. The room he has lived inside. Books to the ceiling. Charts on the walls. A life of quiet study. He thinks, this was the prison he wants to go. Wagner's voice from below, knocking on the study door. Faust waves Mephistopheles into the corner, tells the assistant to come back later. The devil watches him, half amused. He sees the small lie already forming. And here's where it gets interesting. Faust is already not the same man. The Pact has not given him youth yet. Hasn't given him anything, but he is already lying for it. Already protecting it. "Where do we begin?" says the devil. Faust thinks. Anywhere. Anywhere that is not here. The world he has read about for 40 years. Let him touch one piece of it. Let him taste one cup. If you drift off here, that's fine. Faust hasn't signed anything, you have to remember. The candle keeps burning. The 2 men keep talking. The story keeps going on its own. They leave the study. Down the stone stairs, out the gate, into a town Faust hasn't really walked in years. The devil keeps a hand at his elbow, as if guiding a man who has just woken up. They go to a tavern, Auerbach's cellar. Students drink there, loudly, sloppily. Mephistopheles loves it. Faust hates it. The devil wants him to laugh, to watch ordinary stupidity up close. Mephistopheles introduces himself to the students, charms them, suggests a song, sings it himself, about a flea who became a king's favorite, dressed in velvet, while the rest of the court starved. The students roar. He performs a small magic. He bores a hole in the table edge. From it pours wine, any wine they want. The students cheer, taste, laugh, drink. The devil watches them spill it down their fronts. One of the students drops his tankard. The wine pooling on the floor catches fire. A small bright flame that climbs up his sleeve. He shouts. The other students scramble. The flame is suddenly gone. So is the wine. The students don't know whether to be furious or frightened. They are mostly frightened. Mephistopheles laughs. He turns to Faust. "Wasn't that fun?" Faust's face is closed. He says, "Let's go." Out on the street, Faust says, "That wasn't life. That was a trick." Mephistopheles raises an eyebrow. "Then we'll go where life is more interesting. Are you ready to be young again?" Faust hesitates. Yes. They walk through the dark town gate, out into the forest. The road becomes a path. The path becomes nothing. The trees press closer. Mephistopheles leads. Faust follows. He doesn't ask where. They reach a low stone hut hidden in the trees. Smoke curling out a crooked chimney. Green smoke. A dim greenish glow from a small round window. Mephistopheles knocks. The door opens by itself. Inside is the witch's kitchen. Smoke. A bubbling iron cauldron. Strange small monkey, like creatures on the shelves chattering. A magic mirror hanging crooked on the rough stone wall. Faust stops at the threshold. Mephistopheles is welcomed like family. He scolds the monkey creatures. "Lazy thing, you've let the fire die." They scramble. The cauldron flares. The room steadies. The witch is not yet here. He waits for her, comfortable. Faust drifts to the mirror. He looks. He doesn't see himself. He sees a woman, asleep on a low bed, hair spread, face soft and unaware. Whoever she is the most beautiful thing he has ever seen. Mephistopheles glances over. "Yes," he says. "Wait until you see her in person." The mirror is a clever flattery. Faust does not notice the warning. He cannot stop looking. The witch arrives, old, crooked. Her eyes are sharper than her body. She does not bow to Mephistopheles. She knows him. She knows what he has come for. She begins to mix. The witch reads from a strange book, words that don't quite make sense. 1 times 10 times 9, 3 to 5. Faust does not listen. He drinks, the cup is warm, the room blurs. He feels it move through him. Heat, something tightening in his chest. The stoop in his shoulders eases. The lines in his hands smooth slightly. He doesn't see it yet. Mephistopheles does. Outside again, the air feels different, sharper. The cold doesn't bite the way it used to. Faust looks at his hands in the moonlight. Younger. He laughs once, soft, surprised, almost shaken. Mephistopheles claps him on the back. Welcome, he says, to 25. He tells him there's a side effect. Every woman, from now on, will look like the one in the mirror. Faust thinks, fine. They walk back toward town. Faust's stride is different. Quick, hungry. The moon is high, the fields silver. He keeps catching himself moving differently. Like a body remembering. He doesn't speak. They re-enter through a quiet side gate. The streets are sleeping. Mephistopheles glances sideways at him. Now what? Says the devil. Faust does not answer. He just keeps walking. He is looking. Morning in a square. Vendors setting out bread. A bell ringing for early mass. Faust is leaning against a post, watching. Then she walks past him. Just a girl, 2 braids, plain blue dress, eyes lowered. She is 15, maybe 16. She is beautiful, but not in the way Faust expected from the mirror, quiet, unaware. She is carrying a small prayer book. She is going home from confession. Faust steps forward, tries to speak to her, offers his arm. She shakes her head, lowers her eyes further, says, I am not a lady, sir. I do not need an arm, and she walks on. He stands in the square after she has gone. He has had degrees and books and grand visions. None of them ever struck him quite like this. Mephistopheles arrives at his elbow. You're easier than I thought, he says. Bring her to me, Faust says. The devil tilts his head. She just turned you down, he says. She's a child. She has a brother. She lives with her mother. Faust's eyes do not leave the empty street. Bring her to me. It will take time, says Mephistopheles. She is good. Good people are slow to bend. Faust does not care about slow. He cares about her. He has not slept, he has not eaten. He paces. Mephistopheles has done this work before. He visits Gretchen's house, or he sends a small spell, a small box, velvet lined. He tucks it into the back of her cupboard while she is at evening prayers. Gretchen comes home, lights her candle, sees something in the cupboard that wasn't there this morning. She kneels, lifts out the box, lifts the lid inside, gold chains, a thin coronet, earrings. She is afraid at first. Beautiful things scare girls who haven't owned beautiful things. She lifts a chain to her throat, stands by the small mirror, looks, doesn't recognize herself, half smiles, looks again. She does not keep it. She is too good for that. She tells her mother. Her mother prays over it, calls a priest. The priest takes the jewelry. For the church, he says. Gretchen never sees it again. Mephistopheles is furious. Furious in a quiet, dry way. Of course, he tells Faust, of course the priest would take it. They always do. Then he laughs. He likes the world. He likes how greedy it is. We try again, says the devil. A second box. Better than the first. He places it in her cupboard the next week. Gretchen finds it. This time, she does not show her mother. She closes the cupboard. She doesn't keep it for herself either. Not exactly. She brings it next door, to her older neighbor Marthe. Asks her to look at it. Marthe is a widow. Marthe knows things. Martha smiles wide. Martha says, Child, this is too good for a priest to know about. Wear it here, in my house, when no one is watching. She says it kindly. She is already making the deal she thinks Gretchen needs. Mephistopheles overhears the whole thing. He has been waiting for an entry. He has just found it. The neighbor, the widow, a door inside the door. He puts on his best polished smile. The next day, Mephistopheles knocks at Marthy's door. He is sorry to disturb. He has news of her husband. Marthe goes very still. She is not a young woman who pretends. Bad news, then, she says. Yes, he says. Bad? He spins her a story. Her husband died abroad. In Padua, was buried with respect. She accepts it almost immediately. He sees a thing he likes. She is already calculating what she'll do next. He says, to make it official, you'll need a witness. I have a friend, a young gentleman, who could attest to the death. Could you both come to my garden, perhaps tomorrow evening? Marthe says, yes, of course. That is the introduction Faust has been waiting for. A garden, a reason, a respectable place for a young scholar and a young girl to be in each other's company. Mephistopheles tells him. Faust nearly weeps from relief. Gretchen at home is quiet that evening. She thinks of Marthy's invitation. She thinks of the young gentleman she will meet there. She thinks a little of the man who tried to walk her home. She knows the connection. Notice how she does not refuse. Not now, she is 16, her mother is strict, the days are long, and somewhere a young man in fine green has been thinking only of her. She lights her candle, she prays. She goes. The garden in summer evening. Marthy and Mephistopheles walking ahead. Faust and Gretchen behind. Two pairs well separated by polite distance. The path of cobblestones winding between herb beds. A wooden bench under an apple tree. Marthy is doing the polite work, asking Mephistopheles questions about Padua, about the climate, about whether her husband suffered. Mephistopheles answers gravely. He does not laugh once. He is enjoying himself. Behind them, Gretchen and Faust are quiet at first. He is older than her by manner, younger than her by his nervousness. He is not used to wanting something he cannot simply take. He asks her about her family. If you drift off here, that's fine. The garden keeps holding them. The story keeps walking down the path. Marthy and the devil are still talking up ahead. Nothing has been lost. Gretchen tells him about her little sister, who died. About being the one who fed her. About waking at night to nurse her with a sugar spoon when their mother was too tired. Faust listens. He has not been listened to like this in years. He does not know what to do with it. He tries to make a small gallant compliment. It comes out clumsy. She doesn't laugh at him. She just keeps walking. Faust thinks, she is impossibly real. He has read about love. He has not stood beside it. They reach the bench. He sits. She does not. She plucks a daisy from the herb bed, begins to pull off the petals. He watches her fingers. The petals float down. He can hear what she is saying without sound. He loves me. He loves me not. He loves me. The last petal stays on her fingertip. She lifts her eyes. She says, he loves me, quiet, almost laughing. Faust takes her hand, holds it, does not let go. They walk again. The sun goes lower. Marthy and Mephistopheles have circled back. Martha glances at the held hand, pretends not to. The four of them walk back toward the house in failing gold light. They meet again the next evening. And the next. Martha makes excuses for Gretchen's absence at home. Says she is helping with the wash. Says she is at evening prayer. The mother does not yet ask too sharply. One evening in the garden, Gretchen asks Faust the question she has been holding. She says, do you believe in God? Faust does not answer immediately. He has spent his life avoiding the question. He gives her the kind of answer scholars give. Beautiful, vague, vast. Something about the warmth of the world, about feeling that there is a power, about not naming it. She listens. She does not look entirely satisfied. She says, "That's lovely, but it is not the same as what the priest says, is it?" He says, "No, not exactly." She thinks about it. She does not press him. But something in her face does not unstiffen. She tells him she does not like the friend he travels with, the dark gentleman. He gives her a feeling. She doesn't have words. Faust laughs gently. "He's harmless," he says. "Strange but harmless." She does not laugh. Hear that? Goethe lets her see what we see. He tells us, even a girl with no education and a small life can recognize what does not belong near her. Faust talks past it. The devil notes it. Their evenings together grow shorter, always supervised, always polite, never alone. Faust is becoming unbearable to himself. He tells Mephistopheles, "Find me a way." He says, "I cannot stand this. I want one night with her." The devil considers, says, "There's the mother. She sleeps too lightly, always wakes at the smallest sound, always watching." Faust knows where this is going. He listens anyway. Mephistopheles offers a small bottle. 3 drops, says the devil, in her evening cup. She'll sleep so deeply, the house could fall and not wake her. Just 3. Faust takes the bottle. He does not ask if it's safe. He does not want to know. He gives the bottle to Gretchen. He says, "For your mother, so she sleeps. So we can have an evening." Gretchen looks at it. She does not say no. She does not say yes. She puts it in her pocket. She tells herself, 3 drops. 3 is nothing. She is doing this so they can be alone. So he can stop suffering. So she can stop suffering. She does not say it like that, even in her head. That night her mother drinks, smiles at her, says, "What a peaceful evening," goes upstairs, lies down, falls asleep. Gretchen sits at the kitchen table afterward, listening for breathing she cannot quite hear. Faust comes that night. The story does not linger here. Goethe does not show us the bedroom. He shows us only what comes after. Gretchen pale and quiet in the morning. Faust gone before dawn. When she goes upstairs to wake her mother does not wake. The breath isn't there. The chest does not rise. 3 drops. 3 was too much. Or 3 was always going to be too much. She does not run for help right away. She kneels for a long time. She prays. Except she cannot remember which prayer fits. She thinks, "I gave it to her. I gave her the cup." Marthy arrives. Marthy is brisk. Marthy has been a widow once already. She knows what to do. The neighbors are told. The priest is sent for. Gretchen is asked nothing. She is only watched. That afternoon, Faust hears the news from Mephistopheles. The devil delivers it carefully. "It was already a frail woman," he says. "It was always going to happen soon." Faust does not answer. He turns to the wall. He cannot go to her, not at the funeral, not after. The whole town would see. So he does not. He sits in his old study and the books on the shelves seem suddenly very small. Notice how Goethe does not let us off the hook. He does not say it was Mephistopheles' fault. He does not say it was Gretchen's. He says, Faust took a vial. Faust gave it to her. Faust did not ask. Faust cannot stay in the study. He cannot bear it. He leaves the city, walks for half a day, climbs into the forest, finds a deep cavern where moss grows green, sits down on the wet stones. For a long time he does not move. He listens to a stream he cannot see. He thinks, let me stay here. Let me become moss. Let me forget. The forest does not answer. It just keeps holding. This is the part of the book that nobody quotes. The forest scene. The man who has done irreparable harm sitting in moss, knowing it. Goethe puts it in. He insists we sit with it too. Mephistopheles finds him. Of course he does. He is patient. He sits down on the rocks beside Faust. He doesn't mock, he says, "If you stay here, she will be alone in town. If you leave her now, you abandon her twice." It is the right argument from the wrong mouth. Faust knows it. He looks at the devil. The devil is not smiling. For once, he looks almost wary too. Faust stands, picks up his hat, walks back toward town. He goes back. Of course he goes back. He cannot leave her alone. He cannot stay with her either. He has chosen the second worst thing. The book lets him. It does not save him from it. Weeks pass. Gretchen does not see Faust. He sends word once, then less. She tells herself 100 reasonable stories. None of them are the right one. Her body begins to tell her the right one for her. She does not say it out loud. There is no one to say it to. Martha is busy with new admirers. The mother is buried. The brother is far away. So she keeps quiet, and she keeps spinning. She begins to sing while she spins. Just a small song, to herself. The wheel turns. Her foot keeps the rhythm. The song is not a happy song. The song is the most famous song in the book. "My peace is gone," she sings. "My heart is heavy. I will never find it again." The song keeps repeating. The wheel keeps turning. Every revolution is the same line and the same loss. The song is a circle. There is no resolution in it. Goethe knew exactly what he was writing. A girl alone, pregnant, abandoned, doing a chore that goes on without ending. She is making thread. She is also unraveling. A neighbor girl meets her at the well. Lieschen. Younger. Sharper. Mean in the way young girls are mean when they think they are being honest. She tells Gretchen a story she has heard. Lieschen tells her about another girl. The kind who got herself in trouble. The kind everyone is talking about. How shameful. How stupid she must have been. How no one at her wedding will eat the cake. Gretchen says nothing. She nods. She agrees faintly. Yes, terrible. She lifts her bucket and walks away. She thinks, that other girl is me. Lieschen is going to say it about me by next week. She goes that night to a small shrine in an alley. A statue of Mary in a niche. A few wilted flowers. She brings a small bunch of fresh ones. She kneels. She tries to speak. She cannot. She presses her forehead to the stone wall under the niche. She says one line, "Lady, help me. I am not safe." The statue does not answer. The candle burns low. She gets up and walks home. Across the empire, a soldier hears about his sister. He has been at war. He has been bragging about her in the barracks. He has been the brother whose sister is the prettiest, the cleanest, the most respected. The talk has changed. He gets a leave. He rides home. He does not tell her he is coming. He tells himself he wants to see for himself. He thinks, surely, the rumor is wrong. He hopes it is wrong, with his whole chest. He arrives in town at dusk. He does not go home first. He goes to a tavern, sits in a corner, listens. The men there don't know him. They are talking about a girl. The girl with 2 braids. They use her name. He listens to them speak about Gretchen with the easy cruelty men use among themselves about a girl they don't know. He stands up. He walks out. He does not finish his drink. He goes home. He sees Gretchen at home. She does not yet know what he has heard. She is overjoyed at first. She rushes to him. He holds her at arm's length. He looks at her body. He sees what the rumors said. He does not yell. He is not the kind of man who yells. He says, "Go upstairs." He says, "I will deal with this." She tries to speak. He shakes his head. She climbs the stairs slowly, gripping the banister. That night Faust and Mephistopheles come down the street. Mephistopheles is in a good mood. He has a serenade planned. He carries a guitar he has stolen from somewhere. They are going to sing under her window. Mephistopheles sings a small ironic song. about girls who give too easily, about boys who do not stay. He thinks it is funny. The window above stays dark. Then a door opens behind them. A heavy step. It happens fast. Valentin draws. Faust draws too, without thinking. Mephistopheles steps to one side. The blades cross. Sparks. Valentin is the better swordsman. He should win. He almost does. But Mephistopheles is not just standing there. He is guiding Faust's hand. A slight pull. A flick. Valentin's guard breaks. The blade goes in. He staggers back against the stone wall, slides down. Faust stares. Mephistopheles' voice in his ear. Go. Go now. Faust turns and runs. The street is suddenly full of opening windows. Voices calling. Marthy's voice. Lights. Valentin is still alive against the wall, just alive. Gretchen comes down the stairs. Holds the front of her plain dress with one hand. Sees her brother on the cobblestones. Sees the dark stain. Sees his eyes. He is still able to speak. She kneels. He does not bless her. He looks up at her. He says, You did this. You are not my sister anymore. He says it with the last clear breath he has. The neighbors gather. Marthy is shouting. He stops speaking. He is gone. Gretchen does not weep right away. She still has her hand cupping his cheek. She is feeling for breath that isn't coming. The neighbors lift him away from her. She lets them. She does not stand up. This is why we read these books at night. For the part that still holds when nothing else does. Stay here a moment. The story will keep going on its own. Faust is already outside the city. Mephistopheles has him on a road. They are riding hard. The horses' hooves hammer in the dark. Faust does not know where they are going. Mephistopheles answers, Away, for now, away. In the town behind, Gretchen is taken in by Marthe for one night. The next day she is alone again. The neighbors look through her, not at her. The church door no longer feels open. She goes anyway. Inside the cathedral, the air is thick with incense. Mass is starting. She slides into a pew at the back, tries to disappear into it. The choir begins. A great Latin hymn about judgment. Day of wrath, day of weeping. The hymn keeps repeating. Day of wrath, day of wrath. She tries to follow with her eyes closed. She cannot pray. She feels something at her shoulder. Cold. A whisper she cannot quite hear. The whisper says, Your mother, Gretchen. You gave her the cup. The whisper says, Your brother, Gretchen. You knew the man who killed him. The whisper says the things she has been telling herself in the dark. The hymn rises. Day of wrath, day of weeping. The whisper sharpens. He is gone. He is not coming back. Even the priest you confess to thinks you are a stain. The whole cathedral is the voice now. Her vision blurs. She cannot find air. She steps out of the pew. She tries to make the side aisle. Her knees give. The choir keeps singing. A neighbor catches her arm. She faints into a stranger's hands. When she wakes, she is at home. The neighbor woman has put her on her own bed. She is told to rest. She is alone. The town is quiet around her. She thinks, I have nothing to lose now. Goethe leaves her there. He turns the camera. He goes to the mountain. Far from this small town, on May Eve, in old German folklore, all the witches and demons gather on a peak, called the Brocken. Mephistopheles goes home for the night. He brings Faust with him. He thinks, let him drink. Let him dance. Let him forget. The mountain is the perfect distraction. Up the slope they climb. The wind turns. The sky goes copper. Strange lights begin to appear in the rocks. At the summit there are bonfires, wild ones, witches on broomsticks, demons in human bodies. A market of strange things, bones, charms, songs you should not hear. Mephistopheles is greeted by everyone. He is at home here. Faust drinks the cup he is offered. Dances with a young witch. Doesn't ask her name. The wind smells of pine smoke and something burnt. He laughs once. The laugh is loud. It does not sound like him. This is what the devil does best. Not punishment. Distraction. Faust is doing exactly what Mephistopheles wants. He is not thinking about her. He is not thinking about the brother dead on the cobblestones. The night is doing the work for him. Faust is mid-dance when something catches his eye. A still figure at the edge of the firelight. Pale, small, 2 long blonde braids, a thin red line drawn around her throat where a chain might lie. He stops moving. She is not really there. He understands that it is a vision, a warning, a piece of his own knowing wearing her face. Yet the thin red line on her throat is so specific. He cannot unsee it. He stops dancing. He turns to find Mephistopheles. He grips Mephistopheles by the arm. He says, "What is happening to her?" The devil shrugs. The shrug is too small. Faust knows. He demands, he says, "Take me back to her." Now, the devil considers refusing. He sees Faust's face. He nods. They leave the mountain that night. The bonfires shrink behind them. The horses are waiting in a hollow below. Faust's coat is torn. His hat is gone. He does not notice. They ride. Faust rides ahead. Mephistopheles lets him. The pace is hard. The horse foams. They cross a river. They cross a forest. Nothing stops Faust. He has only one thing in his head. Get there. They reach the town walls at dawn. Faust dismounts. Mephistopheles holds the reins. Says, "There is something you should know about her." Faust doesn't want to hear it. He walks. The devil follows. He has no choice. As they walk into the town, Mephistopheles tells him, "She had the child. She lost her mind. There was no help. The child is dead. By her hand or by neglect, no one is sure. She is in the prison. They will execute her tomorrow." Faust stops in the middle of the street. He puts a hand on a stone wall. He breathes hard. He does not vomit. He does not weep yet. He says, "Get her out?" The devil says, "That is harder than you think." The devil says, "I cannot enter holy ground. I cannot enter a cell where she has knelt and prayed. You will have to go in. I can put the guards to sleep. I can pick the lock. The rest is yours." Faust nods. They reach the prison. Mephistopheles touches the guards. The guards slump where they sit. The lock clicks open. Faust hesitates at the threshold. Mephistopheles says, "Quickly, before the morning bells. Get her out. Get her on the horse." Faust steps in alone. The cell is small, cold, a high barred window. Straw on the floor, a heavy chain at the far wall, a small figure curled up in the straw. He cannot see her face. He says her name very quietly. The figure stirs, sits up, pale shift, tangled hair. She does not know who he is at first. Her eyes are too wide, they have seen too much. She begins to sing, a small piece of an old lullaby, to herself. He kneels in front of her. He says her name again. "Marguerite." She blinks. Something flickers. She says, "They are coming for me. They put my mother to sleep. They will lay me down beside her. The grave is dug." He says, "Marguerite, it is me." He shows her his face in the moonlight. She looks. Slowly something rises, almost a smile. She lifts a hand, touches his face, says, "Heinrich," then her hand falls away. He tells her, "Get up, we are leaving. There are horses, there is a road. We can be far from here by sunrise. The devil is at the door. He will help us." She frowns, looks at the door, looks at him. She says, "The devil? So that is what was at your shoulder. So that is what was in the garden." She says it almost gently, like she is finally seeing the shape of it. She does not get up. Faust pulls at her hand, pleads, whispers. Outside, the first morning bells are starting in a far church tower. The cell is colder now. The bargain he signed in his study a year ago is sitting on his shoulders all at once. She lets him hold her hand. Just hold it, she says. Sit down. Sit beside me a moment. He sits. The straw is cold under them. She studies his face like she has never been allowed to. She says, "You have not aged a day. I have aged 100. She says it without bitterness, just observation. He does not know how to answer that. He says, "Let me get you out." She shakes her head. Slowly, she tells him about the child. She tells it small, like she is reading it from a page. There was a baby. She held her in the river. She does not remember if she meant to. She says, "They say I drowned her." She says, "I think I did. I do not remember not doing it. The water was very cold." She was crying. Then she was not. "I do not remember not doing it." She says it 3 times. The 3rd time her voice breaks. He tells her, "None of it is your fault." He says it the way a man says it when he is the one who is at fault. She looks at him. She is suddenly clearer than she has been the whole night. She says, "Heinrich." "Stop," she says. "You came. That is enough. You came back. I did not know if you would," she says, "but I cannot leave." He starts to argue. She lifts a hand, stops him with the gesture. He stops. She tells him, "Out there, I would only be running. Forever, looking over my shoulder. Forever. I cannot do that. I have no place to run to. The grave they have dug is mine. It belongs to me. Let me have it." He cannot accept this. He says, "Please." He says, "I will lose everything." She looks at him a long moment. She says, "Heinrich, you lost everything when you signed it. You did not know yet. That's all." She says, "I have prayed. I have done the only thing left. I have asked. The lady in the niche, the one I left flowers for, she has been with me here. I am not afraid the way I was." From the door comes the devil's voice, sharp, urgent. The town is waking. "Faust, hurry." Faust does not turn. He keeps his hand in hers. The bells in the far church tower begin to swing for prime. Gretchen turns her head sharply at the devil's voice. She sees him in the doorway clearly for the first time. Not as a gentleman, as what he is. She shrinks. She tightens her grip on Faust's hand. She says, "That is who you brought to me." He cannot deny it, she says. "That is who has been at your shoulder. Send him away." He cannot. The devil holds the keys to his life now. She knows. She nods. She tells him, "Go. Go, Heinrich, out of this cell, off this floor, as far as you can, live." He shakes his head. She presses his hand to her mouth, closes her eyes, lets it go. From the door, the devil's voice colder now. "Faust, she is judged. Come away." There is a long silence. The dawn light is starting to gain. Gretchen does not move. She looks toward the high barred window. A second voice, somewhere outside the cell, somewhere outside the world, answers him. A voice we do not see and Faust does not see. The voice says one word, "Saved." The light changes. Not enough that the guards outside would see it, but enough. Gretchen lifts her face toward it. Her body relaxes against the stone wall. Her grip on Faust's hand goes loose. She is still alive. She is no longer afraid. Mephistopheles steps back from the doorway. He cannot stay near the light. Faust does not move. Faust is still on his knees, holding her hand, watching her face change. He is not crying, he is past crying. The devil's voice from the corridor, "Faust. Now." He cannot stay any longer. The morning bells are reaching their full peal. The guards are stirring. Faust still does not move. So Mephistopheles comes in to drag him out. He does drag him. Faust stumbles to his feet. He looks back once. Gretchen's face is still turned upward. She does not look at him. She is past needing to. He is taken out of the cell. The door shuts. Breathe here. The story keeps going on its own for a moment. The greatest books, they don't try to teach you. They just sit with you for a while. Even the part you couldn't have stayed for. They cross the courtyard. The horses are still tied in the same hollow outside the wall. Mephistopheles untees them. Faust mounts without speaking. He looks at the eastern sky once. The light there is plain. Ordinary morning. They ride. Slowly now. There is no longer any reason to hurry. Faust does not ask where they are going. Mephistopheles, for once, does not make conversation. The horses' hooves are loud on the empty road. Some time later, in a town they ride through, a far church bell rings once hard and then is silent. Faust knows what it is. He does not turn his head. He keeps the reins steady. They ride past. That bell is the end of part 1 of the book. Goethe stops here. He gives us nothing more about Gretchen, not the execution, not the witnesses, not the prayers. Just that single bell and the man riding past it. Some readers stop here too. They never go on to part 2. They feel it ends right. A man rode out of a town with the devil. He left a girl behind. Whatever else he becomes, that is who he is. But Goethe does not let him stop. The devil is still next to him. The signed parchment is still in the devil's coat. The bargain is, until you say to a moment, stay. He has not said it, so he must keep going. They ride for days. Faust does not eat much, does not sleep much. Mephistopheles lets him. He has seen this kind of grief before. He waits. He knows that the thing about Faust is, Faust always reaches for the next thing. One night Faust speaks for the first time in many days. He says, "What next?" The devil looks up over the fire, almost smiles. He says, "Anything, my friend. Anything you want. Try a kingdom. Try a different age." Faust says, "Somewhere I cannot hurt anyone like that again." The devil tilts his head further, says, "That I cannot promise, but somewhere bigger, where you will not see it, that I can do." Faust nods. This is the bridge into part 2. We will not stay long there tonight. We will visit. The story becomes stranger, bigger, less personal. Goethe wanted us to feel what Faust did. The world gets larger so you do not have to feel small. Mephistopheles takes him to an imperial court. A young emperor on a gilded throne, bored in debt. Faust offers a solution. With the devil's quiet help, he invents paper money. Suddenly the empire has wealth. No one looks too closely. The court loves him. The emperor calls him brilliant. Faust does not care. He goes through the gestures. He smiles politely. He holds his face still while courtiers raise glasses to him. He is nowhere inside. The emperor asks for a final entertainment. He wants, no, demands, to see the most beautiful woman who ever lived, Helen of Troy, the face that launched 1,000 ships. Faust hesitates. He goes to fetch her from the past. This part is dreamlike. He descends to dark mothers of the world. He brings up shapes. Helen of Troy appears, made of light and old story, on a stage. Faust falls instantly in love with her. He cannot not, he has been waiting. He reaches for her. The figure breaks like steam. Faust collapses. The court applauds. Mephistopheles helps him back to his rooms. Faust says, "Bring her again. Make her real." The devil sighs. He says, "That is going to take a while." Goethe is having fun here. He stops the story, goes back to the old study. The empty study. Faust's old assistant Wagner is still there. He has been very busy. He has built something in a glass jar. It is a tiny living person made of light. Wagner calls him the homunculus. He is small, he is wise. He is not exactly alive in the way bodies are. He floats in his glass, he chatters. Mephistopheles enters and laughs out loud. The homunculus knows what Faust needs. He says, "I can guide him to Helen, to classical Greece, to the old places where she still lives." They go. Mephistopheles. Faust still half asleep on a couch, the homunculus floating in his jar. They land in classical Greece. Mountains, sea, centaurs, mermaids, all of it in soft mythic light. Faust walks the shore, the homunculus, who has wanted his whole short life to truly become, dives into the sea, disappears in light. This is all very strange. It is supposed to be. Goethe is letting Faust live inside the dream of Western culture. He is letting him taste the classical world. He is making the wager bigger than one girl. Faust still does not say, stay. He finds Helen. He marries her in a fashion. They have a son, Euphorion, beautiful and reckless, who tries to fly and falls. The boy dies. Helen, undone, dissolves back into myth. Faust is left holding her empty robe. Notice what the book is doing. It keeps giving him the thing he asks for. It keeps taking it back. Knowledge, then youth. A girl, then her death. An empire, then its emptiness. Beauty, then its disappearance. He still does not say stay. He is starting to get tired. Tired in a different way than he was as a scholar. He is tired in the body now. He has lived more than one human should. The youth in his face is held by the bargain. The eyes are not. Mephistopheles begins to relax. He has been worried that Faust would say, stay, to Helen. He didn't. He has been worried about the empire. He didn't. The devil thinks, at this rate, the man will simply outlive his body and lose by default. We are about to leave part 2 for the night. We will come back to it later. For now, just hold this. Faust has now done more than most men ever do, and not one of those things stopped the wager. Not one. He is still walking. Now bring your mind back to that small cell. The cell at dawn. The light coming through the high window. The girl who said, Heinrich, you came. That moment is the heart of the book. Hold it. When Goethe wrote that scene, he was a young man. When he wrote part 2, the empire, Helen, the magic, he was an old man. 60 years of one play. He kept returning to it. He could not let it end. He started the story when he was 24. He finished it the year he died, 82. 60 years of one bargain. 60 years of asking himself, at which moment, finally, would I say to my own life, stay? You feel it in the writing. The young scenes are urgent, jagged. The late scenes are wide, calm, almost dreamy. He grew with the book. The book grew with him. He did not know when he started where it would land. Hear that? That's Goethe at his desk in Weimar at midnight, working on this same book by the same kind of small candle Faust used. He kept reading, kept asking, kept refusing to land, until at last he allowed it to. Goethe was famous in his own life, statesman in Weimar, friend of Schiller, read by Napoleon. He was not a hidden man, but he was a private one. He kept the play unfinished while he lived inside it. When part 2 was finally found among his papers after he died, it was a shock. People knew about part 1. Part 2 was wider, weirder, almost mystical. It took readers 100 years to know what to do with it. We know what to do with it now. We read it slowly. We do not insist that every part land at once. Some scenes are clear. Some are dreamlike. We let them be. The book has time, 60 years of time. We have been with Faust now for a long time. Through the study, through the bargain, through the garden, through the cell, through the empire, through Greece. He has not yet said stay. He has not yet stopped reaching. The next part of the story is where he gets old. Where the youth finally goes. Where the bargain meets the body. We will go there in a moment. For now, close your eyes if you want. The road is wide. We are still here. If you drift off here, that's perfect. This is where the story rests. The road has been long. Faust is still walking. Mephistopheles is still beside him. Nothing urgent. Just listen. After the empire, after Greece, Faust comes home, not to the study. He never goes back to the study. He turns north, to the coast. He stands on the rocks and watches the sea slap against them and not stop. He has an idea. It is a strange one. He looks at the sea and thinks, that is wasted. He thinks, there is land under there, if I had the will to take it. He turns and tells Mephistopheles. The devil raises an eyebrow. Faust says, I want to push the sea back. I want to build dikes. I want to drain marshland. I want to make a country out of what is currently water. I want people to live on it. I want a town there. Mephistopheles pulls strings. The emperor, grateful for the paper money, gives Faust the coastland as a gift. Faust hires laborers. He hires foremen. The work begins. It is loud, slow, mud-heavy. It takes years. Faust supervises. He does not work with his hands. He stands at the top of the dunes in his fine doublet, watching. He thinks, this is something. This is a real thing. This will be here when I am gone. The work goes on for so long that Faust gets old inside it. The Pact still keeps his face from showing it as much as a normal life would, but his hair turns gray under the bargain. His back stiffens. His eyes blur at the edges. There is one farm in the way of his project. An old couple. Their cottage stands on a small rise that he wants for a watchtower. He sends men to ask them to leave. They refuse politely. They have been there 60 years. He sends Mephistopheles to handle it. Just move them. Burn the cottage if you have to. Build them another somewhere else. He is impatient now. He is old and impatient. He does not sit with the decision. That night the cottage burns. The old couple do not get out. Faust did not order that. He had said only, move them. Mephistopheles tells him in the morning. Faust says nothing for a long minute. Then he says, I did not ask for that. Mephistopheles shrugs. He says, you said handle it. I handled it. Faust looks at him with new clarity. He does not yell, he simply sees, finally, the shape of the man he has lived with for 50 years. He has always seen it. He has always pretended. That afternoon, Faust walks alone to the burned site. He stands in front of the black square where the cottage had been. He smells the ash. He thinks of an old couple he never met. He thinks, Gretchen's mother. He thinks, Valentin. He thinks, and now these two. He goes back to his rooms. He sits at a small writing desk. He cannot focus. The candle flickers. He thinks, I have wanted everything. I have done a great deal. I have not been good. He says it out loud. The candle flickers again. The candle goes out by itself. It is suddenly very dark. He waits for his eyes to adjust. They do not. He puts his hand in front of his face. He does not see it. The blindness has come. He does not panic. He has been half blind for a long time and not noticed. Now it is whole. He simply sits. He says, light a candle, please. There is no one in the room. The blindness is the room. A presence enters the room, not Mephistopheles, older than him. Goethe gives her a name, Care. She is small, plain, veiled in gray. She sits across from Faust. She does not announce herself. She just begins to talk. She tells him about all the small things he never quite let himself feel. The girl, the brother, the mother, the two on the rise. She is not vengeful. She is just listening. She is pulling things up and setting them gently in front of him. Care does not torment him. She just stays in the room. She is the part of him that the bargain could not cover. The part Mephistopheles could keep busy but could not silence. She is here now because Faust is finally still enough to hear her. She does not take his sight. He has lost that already. She gives him something instead, a fuller knowledge of what he has done. He sits inside it. He is not destroyed. He is just clearer than he has been in 50 years. When she leaves, he stands. He goes to the door. He calls his foreman. He says, "Keep working. Drain the marsh. Build the dike higher. I want to feel it under my feet before I die." They obey. He goes back to the desk. Mephistopheles is uneasy now. He has been with Faust a long time. He has not seen him this calm before. Calm was supposed to be the trap. Calm was where the bargain ended. The old man is not saying, "Stay yet," but he is close. Faust dictates orders to a young assistant. He cannot read or write anymore. He says, "Describe to me the dike's shape today." The young man does. Faust closes his eyes, sees it inside himself. He says, "Build it higher." One night he stands at the open window of the office. The wind is sharp. He hears spades striking earth. He thinks, they are still working. He smiles. He thinks, they are finishing the dike. He does not know what they are really digging. Mephistopheles outside is laughing softly. The laughter is not happy. He has put a small crew of his own underlings to work. They are not building. They are digging Faust's grave. He has decided the man is too close to his piece. Inside, Faust is listening to the spades. He does not see them. He hears them. He thinks, at last, he thinks, they are doing it. He thinks of standing on the dike when it is finished. He thinks of seeing nothing, but feeling solid earth where the sea was. He says it. He doesn't even mean to. The line he has avoided for 60 years. He says, "To this moment I would say, stay, you are so beautiful." He hears himself say it. He stops. He understands. The wager is over. The bargain is done. He has said it. He could regret it. He doesn't. He thinks, let it be done. He has been carrying this thing for 50 years. He sits down in the chair by the window. He closes his eyes. He stops. Mephistopheles is in the room a moment later. He has felt the shift. He stands over Faust. He smiles. He says, almost gently, "Well, my friend, we agreed. Time to come with me." He reaches into his coat for the parchment. But here is the surprise of the book, the famous one, the one that has shocked readers for 200 years. The Lord, who made the wager at the very start, has been watching all along. And the wager had a clause Mephistopheles missed. The Lord said, "Even at his worst, the man who keeps striving will find his way home." And the devil, all this time, kept Faust striving. The bargain was to lose him only if he stopped. Faust never stopped. He died on his way somewhere. We are going to leave the story here for a moment and meet the man who wrote it. Goethe. He was born in 1749 in Frankfurt to a wealthy family. His father was strict. His mother was warm. He was a quick child, too quick. He went to law school. He hated it. He kept writing. As a young man, he wrote a small novel called The Sorrows of Young Werther, about a sensitive young man in love with a woman who would not have him, who shoots himself. It became a sensation across Europe. Young men across Europe began dressing like Werther. Yellow waistcoat, blue coat. Some shot themselves in imitation. Goethe was 25. He realized, words can do harm. He spent the rest of his life writing more carefully, more widely. Around the same time, he started a play about a scholar who sells his soul. The old German legend of Dr. Faustus. He started small. He wrote scenes. He put them aside. He came back. He wrote more. He kept the pages in a drawer for years. At 26, the young Duke of Weimar invited him to court. Goethe went, stayed for the rest of his life. He became a minister. He oversaw mines and parks and theaters. He was good at it. He wrote in the spaces between meetings. At 37, he ran away. Quietly. He boarded a coach in the night and went to Italy for 2 years. He needed light. He needed Rome. He needed the southern sea. He came back changed. He kept writing Faust. He met a woman in Weimar named Christine. They lived together for years before he married her. The court did not approve. He did not care. Christine is not in the books. She kept his life livable. He always knew. He met Schiller. The friendship sharpened him. They wrote letters back and forth about literature, history, the soul. After Schiller died, Goethe kept writing letters to him in his head. Some of those letters are inside Part 2. He published Part 1 of Faust when he was nearly 60. Readers were stunned. They thought, surely this is the whole. Surely there cannot be more. Goethe smiled politely and went back to his desk. There was more. He wrote Part 2 over the next 23 years. He was an old man. He worked slowly. He sealed the manuscript. He told his publisher, "Open this only after my death." The day after he died, his secretary opened the box. Why did Goethe spend 60 years on this? Some of it is craft. He was always pruning, always rewriting. Some of it is fear. Part 1 landed so hard he was careful with the rest. But mostly, I think, he was asking himself a question. The question is, what would I, given a long life and many gifts, finally call enough? What would make me say to a moment, stay? He did not know. He kept the play open as long as he kept the question open. He had been famous since his 20s. He had been honored, courted, loved, well-fed. He had outlived a son. He had outlived his closest friend. He had served a small court for 50 years. He had been to Italy. He still did not know. That is, I think, why Faust never quite stops. He cannot give up because his author cannot give up. The man at the desk and the man inside the play are the same person across 60 years. Striving, reading, building, failing, going on. This is why the book is so personal under all the magic. Goethe is not warning us against bargains. He is admitting his own. He is saying, I, too, would sign that page. I, too, want more. I, too, do not know how to stop. He died on the morning of March 22, 1832, 82 years old. His last words, supposedly, were, more light. We do not know if he meant the curtains. We do not know if he meant something else. We are allowed both. His secretary, after the funeral, opened the wooden box on the desk. Inside was Part 2, finished, polished, ready to be read. The secretary read the first page and began to weep. He said, he kept it from us until he was sure. Part 2 was published a few months later. People did not know what to make of it. It was strange. It was old. It was full of myth. It is still being argued about now. The arguments do not matter. The book outlives them. Goethe is buried in a small ducal vault in Weimar beside his friend Schiller. They are still side by side. People still leave flowers. The town keeps the houses they lived in. The desk where he wrote Faust is still in his study. We will come back to Faust himself in a moment, to the soft white, gold light in the office, to what happens to him next. For now we have met the man who wrote him. Now we know whose voice we have been listening to. Faust gave the world a phrase, the Faustian bargain. We use it now to mean selling your soul for something. We use it about politicians, about bankers, about anyone who took the wrong deal. We learn the shape from this play. Before Goethe, the legend of Dr. Faustus existed. He did not invent it. There were puppet shows. There were old prose tales. There was a play by an English writer named Christopher Marlowe a few centuries earlier. Goethe had read all of it. Marlowe's Faustus, 200 years earlier, ends in horror. The devil drags him off stage. Damnation, full and final. Goethe took the same legend and rewrote the ending. He let his Faust live longer. He let him be saved. He thought differently about souls. That is the key shift. Marlowe wrote a man who deserved hell. Goethe wrote a man who striving made forgivable. The 2 centuries between them were the difference between a Christian universe of judgment and a more open universe of process. The Romantics loved Faust, especially the young ones. They saw themselves in him, the yearning, the reaching, the willingness to ruin everything for one more taste. They missed, often, what Goethe had quietly written into the cost. Berlioz wrote a great choral piece about Faust. Liszt wrote a symphony. Gounod wrote an opera. Schumann wrote scenes for orchestra. The story moved into music. People who never read the play came home humming pieces of its grief. Karl Marx read Faust as a young man. He quoted it for the rest of his life. The line about restless striving, the line about the devil being a small part of a force that wants the bad and works the good. He found it useful. He thought capitalism was Faustian. Thomas Mann, 100 years after Goethe died, wrote his own version, Dr. Faustus, set in 20th century Germany, about a composer who sells his soul. Mann was thinking about what his country had just done. He wrote it during the war. Mann saw Faust everywhere in the 20th century. The brilliant nation that signed with the worst possible partner because it wanted greatness more than it wanted goodness. He held Goethe's question to a different mirror. The question still worked. Every age has read Faust differently. The Romantics read the love story. The Marxists read the empire. The mid-century read the politics. Our age reads the personal. The bargain you didn't know you were making with your own life. The book has had countless translations: Walter Kaufman's, David Luke's, Stuart Atkins. Each translator chose what to keep. Each chose what to give up. None of them could keep the German rhyme. They all tried. Some came surprisingly close. A note about the original. Goethe wrote it largely in rhymed verse. The opening of Part 1 is nearly Shakespearean in its bounce. By Part 2, he had loosened. Older, freer, less worried about the meter. The original sound is its own pleasure. There is something in the way German lets the verbs sit at the end of long sentences. It builds suspense. The whole thought hangs until the last word, like Faust at his window, waiting to say or not say the line that will end the wager. The play is rarely performed in full. Part 1 is staged often. Part 2 is sometimes done in shortened form, sometimes as opera, sometimes as art house cinema. To see both halves performed in full takes a whole day. Theaters in Germany sometimes do it once a generation. Beyond theater, the story has fed countless other stories. Picture of Dorian Gray, Damn Yankees, Bedazzled, The Master and Margarita. Every story where someone trades a piece of themselves for a flash of something more. Goethe is in all of it. Now consider the bargain in our own time. We do not sign in blood. We sign on small screens. We sign in terms of service. We sign by opening apps. We do not call them bargains. They are only convenience. We sign with our weeks. We trade hours we will never get back for stability we are told to be grateful for. We do not call it a soul. We call it a job. The bargain is no less real. The price is no less real. The relief is partial. Faust is older than that. Faust is the desire that shows up after the desk is paid for, after the food is in the fridge, after the rent is met, after all the small good. Faust is the question that arrives in the silence afterward. That is who comes for you. That is the voice. Not Mephistopheles in red and black, not a candlelit study. Just a small thought late at night that says, was that all? Goethe heard the same voice. He gave it a name and a hat. The trick of the bargain is, Mephistopheles never lies to Faust. He is honest about everything. He says what he is. He says the price. Faust hears it and signs anyway. Goethe wanted us to see. The deal is not deceptive. It is only known. That is the most uncomfortable part of the play. We want to be tricked. We want a villain who lied. The book offers no villain, only a man, given the world, who could not stop and would not stop and asked for the next thing each time. That is also why the ending is generous. The Lord, watching all the way through, does not punish him. He says, that is who he is. He never stopped. He never said stay. The man who keeps moving will always lose to me, because I let him. There is mercy in that ending. Some readers do not love it. They want Marlowe's hell. They want consequences proportional. Goethe says, that is not how I have come to understand life. The man kept reaching. That counts. That keeps him in. There is mercy for Gretchen too. The voice that called, saved. At the cell door is not letting her down. Goethe brings her back at the very end. We have not gotten to that yet. We will. It is the last of the small mercies. Notice how Goethe gives the final word to women. The girls who were ruined by men in the story are also the ones who lift Faust up at the end. He is carried by the people he hurt. He cannot get to the ending alone. None of us could. There is a famous final line. The eternal feminine draws us upward. People argue about what it means. Some hear a real metaphysics, some hear a metaphor. Some hear an old man's longing. Goethe leaves it open. He liked open lines. Some readers say the line ruins the play. Some say it is the only thing that holds it together. Some say it is what made the play possible at all. Goethe is gone. He cannot tell us. We get to decide. He always wanted us to decide. The play is taught now in nearly every German high school. Most students remember Gretchen at the spinning wheel. Some remember the wager. Few read part 2. Even fewer remember Care at the desk, the small gray figure, blinding him. Care is one of Goethe's quiet inventions. She does not exist in the older legend. He put her there, the figure who arrives in the silence after the bargain stops being entertaining. She is yours. She is mine. She comes for everyone, once. She is what the bargain cannot cover. The small reckoning that arrives whether or not you signed anything. She does not punish, she just stays in the room. She makes you clear. Faust was not destroyed by her. He was at last finished pretending. That, more than anything, is why the book speaks to a quiet life. Most of us are not Faust at the height of his arrogance. Most of us are Faust at the open window, listening to spades, mistaking what is being dug. Most of us made our small bargains years ago. They felt sensible at the time. They probably still are. The book does not ask us to undo them. It only asks us to know what they cost. To not pretend we never signed. That is the small mercy of reading him at 30, 3 or 40 or 60. He has already done the asking. He has already done the reaching. He has already done the consequences. We can sit with him. We do not have to repeat his mistakes to know them. That is what the great old books are for. They have already paid for what they teach. The cost is in the writing. We get the wisdom for the price of an evening. Goethe paid for 60 years. We get a quiet hour. That is why we read it slowly. Not to extract a moral, not to memorize a quote. Just to keep company with a writer who took his time with his life. Goethe asks nothing of us. He just lets us sit beside him at the desk. When you wake tomorrow, the ordinary things of your life will still be there. The small bargains, the work, the familiar room. None of it has to change because you read this. The book is not asking for a different life. It is asking for an honest one. The honesty Faust never quite arrived at until he was 100 years old and blind. We can have it earlier if we want. We do not have to be tricked. We do not have to lose anyone. We just have to admit the ordinary cost of being alive. Most of the time, the bargain is not signed in blood. Most of the time, the bargain is just, I will not look at this part of my life tonight. I will not let the small gray figure into the room. Faust shows us. The figure comes in anyway. It is okay to let her in. Faust at the end of the book is more himself than he has been in 100 years. He did not need the empire. He did not need Helen. He did not need the dike. He needed to stop. Goethe could not give him that earlier. He gave it to him at last. We will go back to him in a moment. To that office. To the white gold light. To Gretchen waiting. To the line that closes the book. For now, hold this. We know who Faust is. We know who Goethe was. We are still here, and the book is still open. Now bring your mind back to the cell, the high barred window, the soft white gold light. The girl who said, Heinrich, you came. Stay there a moment. Goethe goes back to her one more time. So do we. At the very end of the book, in part 2's last scene, Faust's soul is rising. Many luminous figures lift him. One of them is small, pale shift, 2 long blonde braids. The thin red line at her throat is gone. She speaks once. She says, let me lead him. He is still my Heinrich. She says it without bitterness. The other figures of light step aside. She bends. She takes his hand. She begins to walk him forward. He cannot see yet. He has been blind. She tells him quietly, open your eyes. The brightness is yours now. He does. She walks him forward into the light. The small gray figure is gone. The bargain is folded away. The cell, the dike, the empire, all gone. This is the small mercy I keep coming back to. Goethe gives Gretchen the last word about Faust. Not the devil, not the Lord, not the angels. Her, the girl from the garden. He has remembered who matters. She does not say, see what you did to me. She does not say, apologize. She says, let me lead him. The book ends with her doing the leading. Goethe knew exactly what he was writing. There is something hard about this ending. Not many books would let her speak again at all. Goethe lets her speak, and what she says is mercy. Even the people who love this play sometimes flinch at the kindness here. The rest of us, readers, we have to decide. Do we accept the mercy? Do we believe it? Do we let Faust have it? Do we let ourselves have it? The book ends without telling us. It just shows it happening and lets us watch. I think Goethe wanted us to take it. Most people are harder on themselves than the writers they love would have been. Most people would not be saved by their own theology. Goethe saw that. He gave us a softer one. Faust is not a hero in this ending. He is not a winner. He is just a man being led home by someone he had forgotten how to deserve. That is a small thing. That is a real thing. That is what the book hands you on the way out. After the figures pass into the brightness, the play ends. There is no curtain line in the way old plays ended. There is just the light filling the page. Goethe puts down the quill. He has been carrying this for 60 years. He closes the manuscript. He puts it in the wooden box. He locks the box. He never opens it again. The next time it is opened, by his secretary's hand, Goethe will be gone. The book will not be. Almost 200 years later, you and I are sitting with that finished page. 60 years of writing. 6 minutes of reading the last scene. Centuries of readers between us. The book has been waiting for tonight, in its quiet way. We have walked through nearly all of it now. The cold study, the bargain, the garden, the cell, the empire, Greece, the dike, the grave, the light. We have walked it slowly. We have not had to memorize a thing. Anything you missed is fine. Anything you only half heard is yours. The book stays. We will be here when you come back to it. Tomorrow night, next month, 5 years from now. One last image of Faust. The blind old man at the open window. The sea wind on his face. The sound of spades behind him in the dark. He thinks they are finishing his dike. He smiles. He is wrong. They are digging his grave. He doesn't know. He will know in a moment. He smiles anyway. Goethe lets him have the smile. The mistake is part of his piece. The mistake is, in a way, the truth. All of us are listening to spades we mistake for harvest. All of us hold smiles in front of darker work. Goethe knew it. He did not punish Faust for it. He let the mistake be the moment that closed the wager. He says the line. To this moment I would say, stay. The moment is wrong. The dike is not finished. The grave is. He says it anyway. The bargain is over. The light begins. That is the last morning of the book. The man who could not stop finally stopped. The light came. The girl came. The bargain was folded away. The book stayed open on the desk for 60 years. Now we close it. There is no homework here. No quiz. Tomorrow you will not need to remember which scene came first. You will not need to remember the names. You will only need to remember. The man kept reaching. He was forgiven anyway. That is enough. That is all the book asked of us tonight. That is all it asked of him. We can let it sit. We can let our day sit, the hard parts of it. The bargains we made or did not make. If tonight helped, even a little, there's a subscribe button. Quietly. Next week, another book. The very last lines of Faust come in a chorus, sung from somewhere we cannot see. They say, all that is transient is only a likeness. What was incomplete, here is fulfilled. Then the line everyone remembers. The eternal feminine, the chorus sings, draws us upward. That is the closing line of the book. That is what Goethe gave us at 82. 8 words. 60 years of work. We do not have to understand them tonight. We will sit with them. We will let them mean whatever they mean to us tonight. Eternal feminine. Drawing upward. A girl named Marguerite leading a man named Heinrich into a soft pale light at the end of his life. The book will still be here tomorrow. So will we. Sleep well. Next time, something older. Closer to the beginning. Good night, Heinrich. Good night, Marguerite. Good night, Weimar. Good night, candle on the desk. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw soften. The day is over. The bargains you carry can be set on the table beside you. They will still be there in the morning. For now you do not have to keep striving. Faust does not need you to. Goethe does not need you to. Just rest now. The lamp is low. The book is closed. The night is yours. Good night.